Hi guys! So here's another video lesson para mas maintindihan ninyo ang topic sa mathematics. And our topic for today is the sum and the products of the roots of a quadratic equations. So our objective for today is to describe the relationship between the coefficients and the roots of a quadratic equation. So the sum and the product of the roots of a quadratic equation. Let us now focus on how the sum and the product of the roots of the equation ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0 can be determined using the coefficients a, b, and c. From the quadratic formula, the roots are, the first root is negative b plus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And our second root, or x sub 2, is equal to negative b minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Ang pinagkaiba lang po nila is, the other root is positive and the other root is negative. Plus yung isa, negative yung isa. The sum of the roots of quadratic equation. X sub 1 plus x sub 2, or the first root plus the second root, is equal to negative b plus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a plus negative b minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So, if we are going to add fractions with the same denominator, pagsasamahin lang natin yung mga numerator and then copy the denominator. So, ganun ang mangyayari dyan. Pagsamahin natin sila. And then, now, we can now cancel b squared minus 4ac, yung plus positive yung isa negative. So, magkapareha sila but unlike sign, so cancelled na sila. Ang matitira dyan is negative b minus b all over 2a. Simplifying that, we get that negative 2b all over 2a. Cancelling 2, and that the result will be negative b all over a. So, the sum of the roots is equivalent to negative b all over a. The product of the roots of a quadratic equation. So, we have here the first root and the second root. So, we have to multiply them or ita-times natin siya. So, multiplying them, that gives us negative b squared minus the quantity of the square root of b squared minus 4ac squared all over 2a squared. So, makakancel natin yung radical sign and the square, and that gives us negative b squared minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a squared. Pero, dahan-dahan lang tayo sa pag-solve nito. Kasi, ang kadalasang mali ng mga estudyante is minumultiply nila or binibigay lang ang negative sa b squared. Dapat, i-distribute natin yung negative sign to both b squared and negative 4ac. So, ang magiging result dapat natin dyan is negative b squared plus 4ac. Negative times b squared, that gives us negative b squared. Negative times negative 4ac, that gives us positive 4ac. And then, yung 2a squared magiging 4a squared kasi 2 times 2 is 4 and a raised to 2 is a squared. So, makakancel naman natin ngayon ang b squared minus b squared. So, ang matitira na lang is 4ac all over 4a squared. And then, pwede na natin ulit i-cancel ang 4 and a. Ang matitira na lang is c all over a. So, the product of the roots of a quadratic equation is equivalent to c all over a. For an example, find the sum of the products of the roots of the quadratic equation 2x squared plus 8x minus 10 equals 0. So, ang first step is to find the values of a, b, and c. So, ang a, siya yung quadratic term. And b, siya yung ating linear term. And c, siya yung ating constant term o yung walang kasamang variable. So, a is equals to 2, b is equals to 8, and c is equals to negative 10. The sum of the roots is equivalent to negative b all over a. So, papalitan natin yung b ng 8. But, dahil merong negative sign, ang b magiging negative 8 all over 2 siya. Simplifying that, that gives us negative 4. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Product of the roots is equal to c all over a. So, ganun ulit, papalitan natin ang c ng negative 10 and a is 2. So, magiging negative 10 all over 2. Simplify natin yan, divide natin, 10 divided by 2, that is negative 5. Ganun lang po kadali kung paano makita or mahanap ang sum of and products of the roots of a quadratic equation. So, example number 2. Determine the quadratic equation whose roots are 5 and 12. This time, given ang roots, and we have to look for the quadratic equation. So, ang gagawin natin dyan ay yung ating dalawang method. So, ang first method natin dito, ang una kong syempre gagamitin. So, ang first root daw is 5 and the second root is 12. So, ang gagawin natin is to equate those roots to 0. So, x minus 5 is equals to 0 at x minus 12 is equals to 0. Now, we multiply them para maging sagot natin is x squared minus 5x plus 12x plus 60 is equals to 0. And then, simplify natin yan, magiging x squared minus 17x plus 60 is equals to 0. Yun na po yung ating quadratic equation. Punta naman tayo sa method number 2. Ganun pa rin siya. Ang gagamitin natin is yung first root and second root na 5 and 12. So, sum of the roots, so kailangan lang natin silang ipag-add. That is 5 and 12, so magiging 17. And the product of the roots is equivalent to 5 times 12, that is 60. So, ang ating quadratic equation is equivalent to ax squared plus bx plus c is equals to 0. Dividing all terms with a, para makancel natin yung a, ang matitira dyan is x squared plus b all over a, x plus c all over a equals to 0. Kung mapapansin ninyo, ang b over a is the same as the sum of the roots. And c all over a is the same as the product of the roots. So, pwede nating palitan sila. Yung b all over a is x squared minus the sum x plus the product. Yung c over a is the product and yung b over a is the sum. So, ima-minus naman natin yung product kasi negative b all over yon, b over a. Dito naman b all over a pero positive. So, palitan lang natin yung plus sign to minus sign. So, papalitan natin, magiging x squared minus 17x plus 60 is equals to 0. Parehas lang makuha natin sagot. That's still the quadratic equation dun sa roots na 5 and 12. So, for your activity, use the values of a, b, and c of each of the following quadratic equations in finding the sum and the product of the roots of a quadratic equation. So, practice lang ng practice para masagutan at mas madali na inyo kung paano makita ang sum and product ng isang quadratic equation. So, that's all. Thank you.